We've quite a lot to get through still before the main course. We're going to break in between the following two addresses, just for a comfort break and for those who need to recharge their glasses. But you may have noticed that this evening I've steered very clear of insulting anybody from Rissikhaus, and indeed have not said anything slanderous about Schoolhouse. In fact, I haven't said anything about sharing beds or whatever is politically inappropriate. And that's because I have the great pleasure this evening of introducing the chairman of the Old Boys Association, which I think now is running on to almost, what are we about, 15 years of Solomon House at the top. Mr. Thomas Rundle to address the dinner.
Good evening, Mr. Wilkes, Mr. Dutoy, Mr. Reela, honoured guests and old boys. Before I continue with the main part of my report, I'd like to take the opportunity in making a small presentation. Matthew Blackmore resigned from the association board at the AGM in May. Matt was the director of the association for 11 years, serving 10 as treasurer. Matt has been an absolute stalwart when it comes to the financial affairs of the association. An enormous amount of thanks and gratitude needs to go to Matt. Matt, thank you so much for everything you have done. You leave your office knowing the association is financially sound, and that largely due to your tireless efforts. Thank you. If I can please call you up and ask you to accept a small token of our appreciation. A major point of discussion and debate this year amongst the association has been with regards to the property we own in Linwood Road and how best we utilise this going forward. As a starting point, MacRobert attorneys have been appointed to register the portion of the property with the flats onto it into a new title deed. This effectively gives rise to us to having two title deeds for the property. Further to this, Pretor have been appointed to manage the administration of the flats in its entirety. Once the registration of the flats is complete, we continue the debate on what is best used for the remainder of the property. The association continues to support the school financially. We re-looked at the model and have implemented an annual grant to the school instead of the subsidised flats and bursary grant. The current grant is R480,000 per annum, and I hope that this can be significantly increased over the next few years. The association office continues to be run ably by Mrs. Inga Paulson-Little. The association office will officially move back to the school during the course of next week and will be in the old classroom 7 on the eastern side of the main school building. To the directorate, and in particular the office bearers, thank you for your continued contribution to the association. The opening of the Bill Schroeder Centre took place last week. This is truly a remarkable facility. To all those involved, especially Mr. John Eilsley, on behalf of the Old Boys, congratulations and thank you. Much has been said of the recent open letter which has been in circulation over the last few weeks with regards to sport at the school. Firstly, I'd like to make it clear that this was a letter sent out by the sports office of the school, not by myself, which many have assumed. However, I publicly confirm that I am 100% in support of the letter and the contents within the letter. The response to the letter was rather overwhelming, and I thought it apt to address it publicly tonight. Boys High Sport in general is at the very best it's ever been. Those are the facts. Cricket, water polo, basketball and hockey are ranked in the top 5 in the country. So to those who are continuing to say that Boys High Sport is the worst it's ever been, you're unfortunately wrong. Yes, first team rugby is struggling, and struggling more than ever. The school understands this and are actively addressing the issue. This, I assure you, as old boys. To those old boys who are attempting to take matters into their own hands, I appeal to you to consider the proud traditions, values, and ethos that we love and support. While I applaud your enthusiasm and willingness to contribute, the Old Boys Association cannot support anything that is against school policy. It is against the school policy to get into the business of buying players. As a well-known old boy put it, we are not prepared to sell our soul for a win. The association fully supports this policy. We pride ourselves in producing the common man. Of the 200-odd emails I received in response to the open letter, I felt the following by an old boy was one of the most hard-hitting, but to the point. He says, "This is not a difficult problem, or one without a solution. For those fathers or old boys who are trying to relive their school days through their children, or those who simply want to brag about their son's school rugby results at a local pub, move the boy to a rugby school and pray they don't buy a player to replace your son. Number two, those parents who want their son to have the right... Those parents who want their son to have the right to the best all-round education in this country, and with the prospect of a bright and successful future, be very grateful if your son is ever accepted at Pretoria Boys High. Again, to those old boys who think and say that by airing your laundry on social media, you'll get the reaction you've been waiting for, I say to you, think before you act. Your unconstructive criticism is not going to be heard or supported. Gentlemen, there's only one loser when social media erupts, and that is the current boys of the school. Don't be fooled in thinking they don't read it and act upon it. We have failed dismally as old boys when you start hearing that boys don't want to play in the first rugby side because the old boys expect too much or the pressure is too great. Our responsibility as old boys is simply to support, engage, and encourage the school. Our responsibility ends there. It is not for us to dictate to the school how to run the school or govern the school. The school has in their headmaster, Mr. Tony Reeler, the very best headmasters that are out there. I am privileged to spend a huge amount of time interacting with himself, discussing the challenges of the modern day society and its impact on our education system. There is no doubt in my mind that he is the right man for the job. Beyond the headmaster is a dedicated team of teachers, admin and support staff. I am further privileged through my role as chairman to engage with various members of the school governing body, including Mr. Morris van Staden, chairman of the governing body and guest of ours tonight. Gentlemen, trust me when I tell you, the school is in great hands. We need to support the system and trust the system. Mr. Reeler, Mr. van Staden, on behalf of the entire Old Boys community, thank you to you and your entire teaching, admin and support staff for continually striving to make our school the best in the world. We thank you and know you have our full and unconditional support. Gentlemen, let us not be defined by the achievements of 15 boys on a rugby field. The time has never been more right as Old Boys for us to stand together and support the school, but through the correct channels. I appeal to you to do just that. 'Tis here we learn to live.